Hey guys, Jennifer McCune here, coming to you live from Charlottesville, Virginia. I, as many of you know, started my own business a little over 6 years ago, and I've met so many incredible people along the way. I've been on a lot of great trips, earned so much fabulous bling and just wonderful benefits from this business, and one of them is the numerous great people I have met, and I love sharing their stories with you. The road to entrepreneurship is amazing. It's not always easy, but we just meet so many incredible people, and I love sharing their stories. Bringing one on now. On Emily Norris. Hopefully she's coming live now. Here we go. Hey, Emily, how are you?
Hello, my dear. I'm great. How are you?
I am great. I was just getting ready to introduce you to everybody. I was just telling everybody that one of the great perks about our business is the numerous trips we've been on. And I met you at one of the very first that we went on a little over 3 years ago. 35 of us out of the whole entire company earned this trip. And we've been on every single one of those trips since. And of course, I'm going to see you in Cabo in the spring. And I just love your story. It's so inspirational, so empowering. And I think it's wonderful for people to really hear from other amazing entrepreneurs who are making it happen, because it's not always easy. So Emily, you had a lot going on when you started your business about 6 years ago. Former chef, corporate America, you had left to be home with your 4 beautiful children. Tell us why you decided to start a business.
Well, thank you. First of all, I'm so excited to be on here and join you. Actually, this month, earlier this month, I celebrated my 7th year with the company. And
congrats.
Yes, I know time is flying by, but when I joined Radiant and Fields, I had actually left, or right before I joined, I left corporate America. I'm a chef by trade, and when we had our first child, decided to be stay-at-home mama and stay home with our children, and then fast forward 3 more children, so 4 children in the nest, and life was great. Life was good. We were enjoying traveling and babies and all that kind of stuff. But what we found was it was getting harder and harder to do the things that we were wanting to do on a monthly basis. And I kind of had this gut feeling deep down inside that my husband, Brock, was probably going to tell me sooner or later that I was going to have to go back to work. And it scared me to death, really. The fear of putting our children in daycare and after school care. And really, I feared missing those moments, just the little moments along the way. But one day that came to fruition, and Brock said, "Em, you got to go get a job. I'm so sorry." So I ended up going, and I was interviewing with many different companies, having been in the food service industry for many years. That's what I was comfortable with. And so I was interviewing with lots of food service companies in the sales division. And thankfully, none of them worked out. And a friend of mine that is local ended up inviting me to her business launch. And let me just tell you, I was kind of skeptical myself. I thought, I don't know that I want to do something like that. I kindly declined. And then I thought, you know what, this would be a way for me to go and just visit with friends, have a glass of wine on a Sunday afternoon, and I'll just listen. So that's exactly what I did. And really what I found out is it was not anything that I was thinking it was going to be. And I ended up, I don't think I told you this, but when I walked out the door, the last thing Brock told me is, do not purchase a thing. So I said, I won't. And walked out, ended up purchasing the reverse regimen. I hid it, y'all, underneath the sink for 2 weeks. And he ended up saying one day, "Yeah, your skin's looking really good. What are you doing different?" And that's when I went, uh-oh, I'm fixing to have to share. So, well, thanks so much. I'm so glad you've noticed a change in my skin. Remember that event I went to? Well, I ended up purchasing skincare. I'm so sorry. And by the way, I'm looking into the business. Y'all, I had a skeptical husband. He said, "Emily, you cannot do this. I told you to go get a job, a job. You cannot do anything like this. And y'all, I've got thankfully, a very successful father who is an entrepreneur. And in the meantime, between those 2 weeks that I purchased the skincare and didn't tell Brock, I had my dad helping me research. And what I stood out to both my father and I was it was the doctors that created Proactive, y'all. I mean, they created a multi-billion-dollar brand off of teenage acne. And I knew that they were going to do it again, but on a much larger scale. So I wanted to be able to have the opportunity to partner with these doctors. And when my dad said, Emily, this is a no-brainer. You need to get in. You have been wanting to stay home with your children. You could do this with your children, while you're carting Stella Pope to dance or the boys to soccer or whatever it might be. And it can be on y'all's time with your family. You continue to say, you don't want to miss those moments. Well, here it is. You don't know what you don't know. So if you don't give it a try, then you don't know if it's not going to work. And he said, you need to step in with both feet. You need to hit it hard, be passionate about what you're doing, help others. And that's just what I did. So it's been such a blessing here 7 years later. And I would have never in a million years ever thought of myself doing anything like this. But I am so passionate about this brand, about the products. I love my customers. I love my team, and I just love helping others. So it's been such a fun ride.
I love that. So you hopped on board. Obviously, your dad is a smart businessman. He got it. He saw the vision. Now, Brock, you said, was not, and it's interesting that you say that about Brock, because I've been on trips with you guys, and he's super supportive. He's so fun. We love having Brock on the trips. So it's interesting that he was not into it in the beginning. So this is something that I hear a lot, that sometimes the husbands don't get it or don't see it or aren't supportive. So how and why did you hop on anyway?
Well, prior to me really working long hours in the food service industry, this is like, go back to later college days, I had a clothing business, and it was a designer line out of New York. I had 4 shows a year, great clothes, great line. And Brock was a part of this. We were dating, not quite married when I started this, but I was having to transform our home 4 times a year. I was having to send out invitations. I was having to host all of these events 4 times a year. I had to pay for the clothes up front. I had to they were shipped to me. I had to steam them, hang them up, deliver them to the customers. And that was very time intensive. And then I love nice clothes. And so I was ending up purchasing all the clothes, and I was not bringing anything in after I purchased all these clothes. And so I think more than anything, Brock feared really us not being able to, for it to financially work, and me being able to make money from doing this. So what I did, I jumped in with 2 feet. Just like I said earlier, I really hit the ground running. I was working when the babies were napping, when I was waiting for one to get out of dance in the dance lobby. I was working when they would go to bed at night, get up a little early to work, maybe go into the park. I was working. It's really talking to people. It is they call it a little bit of network marketing, because it is networking with friends, and people purchase from people that they have a relationship with and that they trust and they enjoy being around. And, it's no different from when you're traveling somewhere and someone that's been there. You are going to ask them for recommendations of restaurants or things to do and so forth and so on. So I was doing all of this, and I would just leave it. This is when we got paid with paychecks. I would leave a paycheck and the counter, and Brock finally said, hang on. How are you doing this? And when are you doing this? And how is your paycheck continuing to grow and grow by this much, month after month after month? Okay, I'm interested. You got to tell me a little bit more. So I think more than anything,
You showed him.
Yes, the reason why he was so skeptical is because he thought that it wasn't going to work, and that I was going to end up just dumping all my money back into products, which I do purchase the products, and everyone in our family uses them and loves them. But it is, part of our living. And I don't know what I would do without it. And I've loved that I can actually help other people do the same thing and achieve their goals. And then, just the community and the camaraderie. And we have met so many people just like you and John that we would have probably never, ever, ever crossed paths with had it not been for Red Ann and Fields. And
Absolutely.
I look at this business as such a blessing. It has blessed us. It has allowed me to stay home with our children, but then it's pushed me to do things that I was scared to death to do. And I feel like it's helped me to grow as an individual. But I love the friends, and, we travel now just like with y'all and lead the way trips. And then the bucklers that our families and the children, we all travel together. So I love it. I cannot say enough good things about it.
Well, you just named, I was going to ask you the next question and the last question before we hop off, what the best part has been for you. You just named 10 things, which I agree with you, all of them. Could you encapsulate what the best part of being an entrepreneur and having your own business has been?
I would have to say hands down the time freedom and flexibility. I love that I am my own boss. And if I want to take the day off, I can. If I want to go up to the school and go be at the Halloween party on Wednesday with our children, I can. And I am so thankful for that. I don't have to ask for that hour off. I can work with my family, and I'm really not ever missing moments. So that is very important to me and very important to us. I'm thankful, very grateful for this business and for the doctors and the friends.
So priceless, right? Well, thank you so much, Emily. What a great story. It's interesting. I love doing these interviews. I love sharing with other people. I always learn something, and I know you've inspired and empowered somebody today to go ahead and make a next step when whatever that looks like in their life. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you in Mexico, if not before. Have a great day, Emily.
Thank you. Thanks for asking me, my dear. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye.
Bye.